Do I smell that? I smell bullshit.
Oh boy, howdy. Oh, we're here. Oh, we're finally here. Oh, it's that time of year again. Except it's somehow worse. It's somehow worse. You know what? I'm going to shut my door so I don't literally destroy the whole house. My fury. So here we are again. Once again, another year where things are great. The Steve O'Donnells, the Phelpses, they're all like, the playoffs are great. Everything's fine with everything. The state of NASCAR is more like the state of fucking despair. And I watched Danganronpa and read it. I would much rather that than accept any of this. Any of this charade, this nonsense. Because it's the same shit every year. Except this one is somehow worse with an average finish of, fuck if I know, going into this race, Logano was like 17.4 average finish. It's going to go up because he won. And yeah, that race was, if it was a race, if we just, take our brains out and ignore the championship, then yeah, as a race, that was like an above average Phoenix race. But once again, dirty air kind of becomes a thing. Ryan Blaney runs him down, and then it just stops. Can't do much. At least he was able to pass him once during the race at some point, so that's better than never passing, but not surprised. Even if Logano got second, it's to still be stupid because Ryan Blaney's average finish was like 12, 13, so he wasn't like that much better. If I can, I don't know, look at Racing Reference and just cross-reference where on earth everybody was in points going into last race. Mind you, in the history books, Joey Logano, better than Kyle Larson this year. Shrug emoji. He did what he had to do. That's what, yeah, I'm sure that's what Ryan Vargas is going to say. He did what he had to do. And I want to hate the player and the game all at the same time because Joey Logano that's your champion. A person burning out on pit road where women and children are. Oh, that's our hero. That's our driver that's comparable to all other three-time champions of Darrell Waltrip, David Pearson, Cale Yarbrough. Yeah, exactly like those. He's on the same tier as those. Yeah. yeah, exactly. He's exactly on that same tier. That same echelon. Even though all of his championships, he's never had one season where he was the best all year in all Logano has done is just exposed how broken everything is. How fucked it is. What, 12 top 10s the whole year? It doesn't matter about much of the season. It's all about really executing at the exact right time. So yes, if you look at everything and don't have a brain, yeah, you could be like, well, Logano won that format. But if I structure the format in a goofy-ass manner where I reset the points almost entirely 4 different times, yeah, whoever wins it should probably be happy because it's such a freaking fluke or an absolute sham that it even happens. But he's somehow done it 3 times. What a fucking farewell season for me as a fan. I literally couldn't even speak. What an absolute sad farewell it was to be this fan of 25 fucking years. People think I'm going to come back to this garbage? Why support it? I only watched because of Truex. That's the last thread I fucking had. The only times I'll ever talk about the Cup Series if something stupid happens like Martinsville or the championship race or the 500. But, well, you can look at my fucking playlist. You could probably see, like, my race reviews, how many I've done this year. What, 22 of them? 23 of them compared to the 38 to 42 I was doing the year before. So my interest has waned. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like 9 or 10 plus different instances of something stupid happening next year. So you can bet your sweet bippy there'll be videos on it because it's fun to dunk on this garbage. But really, at this point, it is really a case of just don't fucking watch. This isn't like me trying to like, oh, I'm still a fan. I just can't stand No, I don't want to support any of this shit. I don't. I really don't. Oh, what about the things behind? Those are for fan mail. I didn't purchase those. Anything new, if I ever want to buy NASCAR going forward, it's going to be from like a third-party seller because I'm not buying NASCAR official shit probably for the rest of my fucking life. Because it's just sad. It is watching that race, watching those last few laps. I wanted to get hyped that, Blaney was run down, but I'm just like, dirty air is going to mess it up. It's just all a facade. This is why I got this pimple here, because this whole season I've just been like this watching the race whenever I get home. Too much of this. So my face is literally falling apart. And I'm quite tired of it. Don't support this trash. People say this, be like, oh, don't like that. People have been saying that to me all fucking year, but I want to stick around to the end because of Truex. Because I was the last thread I cared about. After that, there's no interest. Hit them where it hurts. Do not support this. Do not support watching. Don't give them your viewership. That's the only way I think that's gonna get them to hear, because nothing else is gonna change. If they're completely fine of losing 50% of their audience from 2014 to 2024, then I don't know how much lower it needs to go. Maybe it needs to be 75% of a decrease since 2014. Maybe it's got to be even lower than that. I'm sure the ratings may either be really up or down because of the controversy of Martinsville, which also showed a complete sham of just blatant race manipulation and going against the spirit of racing. That's gross in and of itself. There's a whole myriad of things. We could go on a whole tangent for like 5 hours about everything wrong in the last 20 years of this godforsaken sport. Of how Logano basically, except for Phoenix, he won it. So, but he hasn't been the best all year. Sorry, where is he in fucking points going into this last race? It was technically 12th, but his average finish was like 17 point something. Sorry, that's not championship caliber in my eyes. Championship caliber is more like what Kyle Larson did. Now in the stat books. Imagine having water cooler talks with any fans. Any fans about comparing and contrasting Kyle Larson and Joey Logano year by year. And be like, oh, well, Logano was first in the standings, but Kyle Larson was theoretically better in all aspects. But, because of the format, Larson's not as good as Logano. He was worse. And the stick and ball sports that Phelps and O'Donnell always use. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's incomparable. You're comparing NASCAR, where 30-plus teams compete each other against the same people every week, versus football, basketball, etc., where it's two teams clashing. You need a format like a playoff. Also, why is racing even called a playoff? You don't play it. I still see people like Parker Clearman saying like, oh, I love this game. Racing's not a fucking game in real life. It's not just a video game. It's embarrassing. They keep treating it like it's like, that's what made NASCAR unique, was it because it was different from everything else. But one by one, it's trying to be like the football or other shit. And it's exhausting. It's just the same old shit, except it's even worse this year because the person that won the championship's average finish was horrible. He got a win at Nashville because his teammates spun away from the racing surface that didn't need to be yellow, and it took 5 overtimes and people running out of field for him to even be a snowball's chance in hell to win. Then we got Atlanta, plate track. I don't value those much of anything anymore because it's just 10% skill and 90% luck. Sorry, I can't really equate that. Not in this modern era. It's not like back in the day when tire fall off was a lot more important and driver skill and the cars were a lot harder. No, it's not. It's not. It hasn't been the same at Daytona since 2011. It hasn't been the same at Talladega since 2007 when they fully repaved it. I guess the fall of 2006, but even then I can kind of have a little bit of wiggle room because the Gen 4 cars were relatively difficult, but I would say fall 2006 is the beginning of that for Talladega, and 2011 for Daytona is kind of where it all kind of falls apart. So most plate wins past that point don't hold much weight anymore. It's not really the same unless there is a car so blatantly like overpowered or insanely good that that they probably deserve it. Like, I don't know how many instances of that has happened in the last 10 years. The only ones I can think of is Junior, but I'm a Junior simp boy, so of course I'm going to think of that. But that is subject to change for an opinion. So, yeah, enjoy your slop. I mean, if people want to sit here and defend this, or I don't know how people put up with it. I don't. I really don't. I know people say this isn't the same sport that they grew up with. It factually is not. And sometimes that could be okay. But this is a change gone so far beyond of the legitimacy of fairness. And some of that isn't really the driver's fault. They're put in this box. Joey Logano's gonna be thrilled about it. He'll think he absolutely deserves it. Joey Logano's the same one, like in an interview once, that said he should be like a 6-time champion because every time he was in the Final Four, he should have won it. Like, he believed that. So in his eyes, he's a 7-time champion because he said that he was like a 6-time champion like a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever. Maybe he thinks in his eyes he's a 6 or 7-time champion. He probably, I don't know. That's pure delusion. It's delusional. It's nonsense. And I want no part of it. If I'm lucky, if there's some act of God and there's 10 laps to go in the race at Daytona and somehow Truex hasn't wrecked, and if I see something in my group chat that, Truex is kind of in the mix, then maybe I'll tune in for those last literal handful laps. That's all I care about. But the odds of that is so astronomically low that I might as well not even fucking put it in the cards, because he's gonna fucking face first in the wall, Earnhardt style, and live. And that's how it'll go out. Even though, honestly, he should just retire now. He ended up on top, fucking getting 2 poles back to back. He didn't do jack shit in those 2 races, but at least he got 2 fucking poles, and that's baller as shit. So, what else do I want to say about this garbage trash heap? Don't like, don't watch, don't support this going forward. If you want to make a message, don't. Because if you're going to be saying all this of, I'm tired of it, then hit him where it hurts and don't fucking watch. Then again, Mike Ford, one of Denny Hamlin's PR people, is going to think you're a hater or you're an AI because, that's all the haters are. It's just robots. I can do the robot pretty good when I want to. Or a little bit of pop and lock shit. But I'm not in the mood. It's just, I wanted to be depressed, but thinking about it, it just kept fueling. As I was watching, I was just like, as I said on Twitter, or X. I was like, man, this is just like watching a funeral because it was really fucking depressing. Now it's starting to set into like, this is it. Make no mistake. No, it make no mistake of not watching this. That's what you gotta do. If you got drivers that you like for, I get it. I understand watching even despite everything wrong. I get it. I was there. I was in those shoes. So I understand that, getting away from it's hard, but one of these days, something has to give. People have to just not give a shit. And apparently ratings are going up, so hell if I know. I don't know. I got no explanation. Could I say the format's working? In my opinion, hell no. Then his Logano's third one was fuel mileage, mainly because Blaney pretty much assisted him into that, which is also a form of race manipulation that no one wants to address. So, hey, Logano got his first legit win since Vegas at 22. So that's something. Good for him. Sorry, I can't ever sit here and accept Logano is on the same tier as fucking Darrell Waltrip or fucking, I don't know. The record books is the history of the sport is so fundamentally destroyed these last 20 years of how just you can't look at what I'm seeing on track and then what I'm seeing on paper or in the results they're just not correlating. It's just not. And it's sad. And I want no part of it. I want no fucking part of watching this trash heap. Like I said, I'll probably tune in for like Xfinity or trucks whenever I have the time. But Cup Series, I can't stand these cars most of the time. Xfinity race, even without Allgaier thing, like the fact I watched like 30 plus laps of Allgaier just running down Custer, and it was fucking peak racing. Because Xfinity cars, well, they're basically like the car tomorrow bodies, just less horsepower. But those are just so good every week. Trucks is like hit or miss a lot of times, but Xfinity's like such a banger. Even despite the stupid ass format. I'm happy Allgaier and Majeski won, but I can put my fanboy cap aside and look at it and be like, you know what, Majeski and Allgaier really weren't the best drivers that year. I can't in good faith say that. I could say they deserve to win in that race or be the highest among the four, but I can't sit here and accept that they were the champion. Because everything is so watered down. When you have a champion of Chase Elliott basically not really feeling like his trophy is worth being in his home. It's just rather be in a shop or some museum somewhere. What does that tell you? Oh, well, Chase Elliott's just boring and he don't care. No, it's because he knows that he knows. I'm sure every driver understands that in that year in 2020, that was hard. Like he deserved it. I don't know. It's just the same points I keep reiterating every year, because we haven't had a champion that actually was the best all year. That's my argument. I keep saying the fucking argument all the time is, were they the best all year? Well, no. I mean, he got good like right at the end, but not really wasn't the best. Can you argue that? No. Chandler Smith, best throughout the Xfinity Series the whole year, is gonna miss. It may not even have a ride because the sport's healthy. I don't know. Ask Brett Moffitt. He'll know some advice, because this happened to him when he won a championship. Like, his sponsors left him and everything. What a sad state. Allgaier was actually third. Custer was second. So that's also like all three. Every series, none of the champions were the best all year. No one can argue that, because I'm not talking about Winston Cup. I'm talking about the racing reference, like factor in stage point, like factoring that in. Even Chandler Smith and Cole Custer. I mean, I had to do more fucking research because they don't factor in Cole Custer's like stage points in the last race. So that's even more confusing. So I don't know, but what I do know is Allgaier was not the best all year. That either went to Chandler Smith or Cole Custer. I can't sit here and do that live while recording, because they don't factor in their stage points in the last race for the Final Four. So that kind of messes things up a little bit. Obviously, in trucks, Eckes literally had, 3+ race lead on Majeski. But that doesn't matter. That's not important. What's important is green, white, checkered restart, overtime, 7 wide at fucking Phoenix, or entertainment, or because we desperately need Game 7. Even though the Game 7 moment doesn't even happen every year. That's like a special thing. But every year it's a special. It's not special. The extraordinary, as I said thousands of times, the extraordinary moments of those championship battles are now the ordinary. You cannot have cake every day. It's almost like going to a restaurant. It's like, okay, maybe once a month you can go. Some people could even say, well, I go to a restaurant two times a month. Okay, fair. What about once a week? Okay, where I work, so there is customers that go every week. But what about every single day? No, it gets old. That's how it was. I love their bread rolls down where I work. Like, certain foods I love a lot. But if I had it every single day, I would get tired of it. When I have this format every single year, it's exhausting. Because it's just like, well, there's a 75% chance they may not win a championship, but there's 25% chance they will. So, yeah, and that's with Larson missing a race too. So that's even more funny. So no, objectively, you can say across the board, it does not reward the best driver all year. You can argue, you can say, oh, it rewards the best in that playoff. Yes, oh, sure. But we shouldn't even be having one of our championships anyways. There's so many things wrong. I could just go on and on for hours about it. I just don't want to go into it or make a super, duper edited video and really bring my point. It's just, this sport is not worth my fucking time. I'd rather work on the Robin series and do that, because I actually, care about that. Like, I would much rather put my time to that if I actually had more time. But what do you say? What do you say? What do you say to this? It's just typical. Just like Truex this entire season's been typical with the fucking restart jumping bullshit, or but we had photo finishes. Sorry, green, white, checker photo finishes don't hit the same as Darlington 2004, but that happened over a 50 laps green flag span, not just a green, white, checkered hoo ha hoo of that. Just it doesn't hit the same way. But even then, 5 good races or 6 good races cannot save the other 20 plus of controversies or inconsistent calls or throwing yellows when they don't need to, or waiting for a car to wreck off turn 2 with 2 to go. Wait 38 seconds. And then no, you don't do that. You officiate the same way you do from lap 1 to lap $399 of 400 races or 400 or whatever the point I was trying to extrapolate as. Just a mess. And there's no accountability of anything. That there's nothing wrong. There's no accountability of it. I'm honestly really glad Bill France Jr. and Sr. didn't watch to see what this sport has become. I'm actually really glad. I'm glad Dale Earnhardt hasn't even fucking seen what this shit is. And mind you, Dale Earnhardt didn't even really like the plate track racing in that era either, and that was most people's favorite era ever. And I'm sure he'd be way against this format. Most drivers were against the original format. Mind you, here's a fun story. When NASCAR, I saw this online, but when NASCAR was first trying to implement the chase format, they asked a fan poll, what did fans want? Did they want this chase for the Cup format, or did they want a full season format? Most fans went with they want a full season format. And you know what they did? They took down the poll, ignored that even existed, and just went through with it anyways, despite what fans wanted. So, if I was a fan back in 2003 and I saw something like that, I might have fucking jumped ship back then too. But unfortunately, I was 8 years old and I couldn't fully grasp the concept of any of this because I was 8. So, what an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace for the sake of legitimacy. I can't even say the word right, but then again, NASCAR probably wouldn't be able to say the word right on either. So, feeling is mutual on that. But it's just depressing. It's, at the end of the day, acting aside, a wild emotions aside, it just feels like a funeral. And I don't want to go through fucking funerals every single week. Funerals aren't supposed to be a every week thing. Not to my knowledge. I'm not an expert in that field. So someone that works in a field, maybe they, they would have nerves of steel, kind of like ambulance workers and stuff. Big respects to them. But me as a person, I just can't watch a race and just be feeling miserable. I can't do that. And a normal human being, not factoring if they work at a funeral, normal human being shouldn't be experiencing funerals every single week. It's not. No. We need a funeral to NASCAR ratio. I can't. I'm losing my mind. So yeah. What more do you want? It's just pathetic. It's typical. It's just as usual. It's typical. And if you like it and you find it great, most of the people that like it are just new fans. That any of the comments I've ever seen, it's mainly new fans. I wish they can see the light, understand of, racing. This is not usually how it's supposed to go, but Supercars is incorporating it. But I think even Supercars is not as stupid to throw in a one race winner take all, so they're not even as bad. But yeah, if this is just how it's going to be, if more sports are going to incorporate that, then maybe I'll just be out of racing entirely. I don't know what this channel will become, but dirt racing is the true racing of America, and I respect the shit out of it. I'm a noob. I don't understand about it. There's apparently draft in it, which I don't know of. I'm trying to ask people, and some have answers. Some say yes, only in specific cases. I don't know, man. I just try to understand it. It's hard to find people to root for. I don't know. It's just miserable. It's just fucking depressing. And I've made peace with it. I've accepted that this is how it's going to always be. That State of the Union. Also, NASCAR kind of feels like it's like a political discussion anymore with shit, and I don't like any part of that. That's kind of what it feels like anymore, of what things you like and don't. It feels like a political stance, and that doesn't make it really fun to be as a fan either. So, sorry. I'm so sorry to NASCAR that I can't accept a person 17th in points that has the worst Final Four stats ever, that has 12 top 10s, and 4 optimal wins as a champion. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. That's not what I grew up on. Some change is okay. I don't even mind, freezing the yellow for a caution. I don't mind the fact that there's stage points rewarded throughout the race. I don't mind that. Stage cautions is stupid, but the idea of stage points ain't that bad. You know, there's things I can forgive. The lucky dog, waiver rounds, sure. There's things that were newly implemented that I do not mind. All they had to do from 2004 is just reward the winner like 20 extra goddamn points. That's all they had to do. Not this rigmarole, confusing, long-winded explanation of the format. That's all you gotta do. That's as simple as it could have been, and that was the original pitch. But there's gotta be a fucking balance. You can't just have, you know, being good or being hot at the right time or winning at the right time to just dwarf 25 races of consistency. It can't be that extreme. Nobody, I don't think, was wanting that. I don't know where this existed. I think fans don't mind the concept of, yeah, a win could mean more, like more points, sure. But that shouldn't just dwarf everything. 34th in points shouldn't just surpass 17, 18 people in points to be at no worse than 16th. This was the same shit in 2022 where Truex was like 5th in points, really consistent, and gets bumped out because Austin Dillon won because of rain. And that's why you don't even need playoffs, because racing can be random and bizarre as shit. There's so many instances of, well, the sport, does this format demand to exist? Would ratings really fucking fall apart? I don't know. But it sure as hell wasn't declining in the 90s, 2000s when the driver was winning a championship far and about. Ratings weren't dying then. F1, global sport, 9 times out of 10, the driver, just whoever wins the championship obliterates the competition, yet people show up. It's not like, you know, NASCAR is telling me to, you know, calm down. Because, you know, I can't be a part of PR if, you know, I'm talking too meanly about it. So I don't know anymore. I really don't. I really, all of this is just sad. And, I don't know. To people that can put up with it and still watch despite all this trash, I will admit it. You got more buns of steel than me. More of a tolerance. Maybe it's just I've been a part of this for too long and it's just gotten grating. Maybe it's because, too, that there's really no one I really want to root for. Because I stuck around way longer than I probably should, but it's because of the drivers I was a part of. Oh, you're not a real NASCAR. Then if that's the case, then so fucking be it. Sorry, I can't sit here and not watch something without having some kind of investment. And that kind of investment for me is the drivers. And if, you know, the format was normal, if they just tuned it the fuck back and maybe have a 3-race championship, or maybe not have win and you're in. I said win really funny there, so that was, you know, you can laugh at that later. I will. I just can't. I just cannot tolerate this. The people that hate all this and that still make videos, well, they probably need to do it for a living. That's a very nasty position to be in, and I get it. I was in that boat once upon a time. I totally sympathize with it. But you know what? There's always a chance to change. There's always a chance to get away from it. I don't know. It's gotten too philosophical. But for the big finale, big send-off of this entire shit show of a year, except, well, Spring Bristol, that was mainly because of that was like a Goodyear mistake, but that really wasn't part of their plan to have it be like that. So that was kind of an accidental good race. Okay, Kansas, okay, that was a barn burner. Both Darlingtons were fine. I don't mind those. For once, I didn't mind those. There's not many races I could think of from start to finish that were like bangers. Homestead was really good, but that's just usually Homestead. Again, 5 or 6 races does not save a season, and the dirty air thing is still a problem. It's still annoying to kind of see happen, and yeah, I just got nothing more. I think I'm just gonna end it here. It's not gonna be probably exactly 30 minutes, but it's close to it with all the little cuts I did. But It's just a shame. It's a shame it had to be like this. It's a shame that I have to feel like this. I'm tired of feeling depressed. I'm tired of feeling like this. I'll feel so much fucking better knowing next week that, oh, thank God there's no race. Because season's too goddamn long, too. Would be a lot nicer to have, you know, oh, but we're going back to the roots of racing, Rockingham and Bowman Gray, and you can have 36 unique fucking tracks on the schedule, but if you're to have a point format or championship format that's fucking stupid, then all you're really left with is a good race, which to some that's fine. But I don't have much hope for like New Mexico. I don't have much hope for Rockingham. I don't trust these cars at like a mile track. Like it's a chance that dirty air can ruin it, and then the fans are gonna be like, oh well, Rockingham was always this bad. Like they're fucking trying to gaslight people and thinking North Wilkesboro was. Even though I literally watched the last two races of the '96 race at Wilkesboro, and they were like barn burners from like start to finish. Like they were great. So no, that's not how it always was. There was like some races here and there where one person won just dominated. That's happened. But then again, that's happened in the pantheon of racing. It just all matters of is there passing throughout the field, is there stuff going on. What's not fun is watching my driver Truex speed on pure, which is his fault. My fault. Be 24th, and then for the rest of the run, I was unable to make a pass because of dirty air, even though he was running second that whole race or third. But because dirty air, you can't fucking pass. That is sad, and that is frustrating. So, yeah, I just have fun with that. Have fun with everything. I hope it's a fucking blast. I hope the sport just thrives and just continues to bury itself in the fucking ground and all the other whatever. I don't want to be here for the boom. I want to be here for this disaster. So enjoy the slop. Enjoy your whatever, your feast, famine. I'm done. I'm done. Just I can't wait for the cope. I can't wait for the cope of accepting, being okay with this. I don't know. Just have fun trying to justify, or you can justify, yeah, he did what he had to do, shrug emoji, Ryan Vargas style. But then again, drivers have done that for the fucking 77 years that this sport has existed. Well, 76, but 77 onwards. I'm just pure gross. It's absolute gross. And yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing more. I got it out of me. I'm done. Bye.